We are Mike and Jeannie, and we restore old houses. In 2021, we moved to South Carolina and bought a 120-year-old Victorian house. Follow along as we put the polish back on this Victorian masterpiece.
Welcome back to 1834 Restoration House. I know it's been a while since we've been on and we're really sorry. It has been so hot here in the deep South Carolina. It's hot, it's muggy, and it's been over 100 degrees with our heat index. Now, as you all know, our Victorian house is pretty old. There's no insulation, and our AC unit cannot keep up. It is constantly going, and it will only get the temperature down to 81 degrees, which is still very hot, and it's still mostly humid. It's better inside than outside, but it's still really too hot to do much of anything outside or inside. But we have been doing a few things.
We're in the wood shop today for no particular reason other than it seemed like a nice backdrop to film in. But it's really hot in here, and we'd like to get out. So let me tell you about today's topic.
Today's program is sponsored by the generous support of our patrons. Your support helps to further our historic preservation efforts. For more information, visit patreon.com/1834 Restoration House.
We're coming to you today from the wood shop for no particular reason because we don't have any woodworking projects to show you. The fact is, it is so hot in here that we can barely stand it, and so we're going to try to get through this and get out of this room and back into a cooler part of the house. So we've had a couple of projects going on in the background. We had a viewer reach out to us a while back. He's a local viewer, and he had some Victorian furniture and a few other trappings that he needed to get out of his house. And he thought about us, and so he reached out and said, hey, would you guys be interested in this stuff? And so we went over to his house and looked at it, and Jeannie liked what she saw.
Very much.
And Jeannie really wants some Victorian furniture, so
yes.
We got a U-Haul trailer, and we brought all of it back here. And so we'd like to show you a couple of these things because they're really cool.
Thank you so much, Justin, for all of this stuff. It is going to make our house much better and make it more home-like. Thank you.
Definitely, because it's been kind of a construction zone since we moved in here.
Yes, it is.
She needs to have a little bit of semblance of a real house that's lived in. So we'll do that. Now, some of this stuff needs some work. It needs to be rebuilt in some cases or repaired. And so we're going to try to incorporate some of this into the channel as we go forward.
It is beautiful furniture.
It is.
Beautiful stuff.
And there's a couple of quirky, interesting things that came with it that we didn't even know was in the boxes until we got it home. So yes. We'll show you some of that stuff too.
These are some of the things we got in one of the boxes. They still need cleaned up a bit, but these are just amazing. It's got little details on there. And this container, just absolutely beautiful. These are solid. They're really good quality. And this one, which came, well, there's a whole bunch of silverware in here. And I do mean silver. They need to be cleaned up still. But they are beautiful pieces. Absolutely beautiful. I think this is a sugar container. You can pick up your cubes of sugar. And then, like a viewfinder. Take a look at your photographs. That is pretty cool. That is amazing.
Well, that's pretty cool. Let's get out of this room because it's hot in here.
Sounds good.
It's just dripping wet. So let's go into another part of the house where it's cool.
This is one of the furniture pieces. It is a replica, but this is the only thing that is a replica. All the rest are original pieces. And I absolutely love it. Isn't it beautiful? Absolutely gorgeous. Some more of the items we were given. Bunch of doilies, which I love doilies. This is a picture frame full of the Dead Poets Society. And then we have a lamp shade of some kind. Really old and pretty. We have these wall sconce. Yeah, they're light bulbs. Look at this old plug. Okay, it comes with the hook, so you can move it around. And the glass top piece. There's two of these. And then this one, if my wonderful husband can come and help me with this one.
This is really cool because it has a reflector on the back and a bulb right here. And as you look inside there, you see that there's nothing in it. That's because it's meant to have that in there. And so when you light it up, what little light you do get from this actually reflects off of here and reflects out into the room and helps to amplify the light.
Pretty amazing.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yes, this is probably some kind of an iron, and it says Ideal. So at some point there was a company named Ideal that made these lights.
And this chase lounge, I'm not quite sure what it's called. Any ideas? But it does pull open, and it's a bed. It's pretty amazing. I love it. Absolutely beautiful. In this corner, we have some Victorian lamps. They have been changed over to electric, but they were oil at one time. You can see on this one, there's the wick area to raise it up and down, and this is where you put the oil in. They have since taken those things out, of course, and put in these little buttons down here to turn them on. And then this soup urn, absolutely love it. It's beautiful. Another doily, beautiful table. Absolutely gorgeous. Do you see all these details on it? It's just amazing. And then here I have 3 leaves that go to a table, which I'll show you in a moment. And this table is from the 1800s. Amazing.
All right, let's talk about the furniture real quick. This is my realm. So this table here is very old. I don't know what the date was of manufacture, but you can see that where the hinge is, this was actually chiseled out by hand. And right here, you can see the saw marks. Modern furniture wouldn't do that. They would have sanded that all off, of course. You can see where the boards were cut, glued up, and then shaped. It also has this leaf bar here, which is supposed to hold the leaf out. Now it's had a little bit of damage over the years. This leg here at one point came off, and you can see where it's been repaired multiple times. So somebody tried gluing it, probably with modern glue. The dowels, I don't know if the dowels are original or if somebody put them in. It's hard to say, but there's a good possibility that they may be original. But over here you can see that somebody tried to use screws, hoping to see if maybe screws could hold it. Well, I think those, if I'm not mistaken, those are drywall screws. And come on guys, drywall screws are not for repairing antique furniture. So at some point we'll be trying to take this apart and restoring it back to its original condition. And we'll show you how that works. There's a good way, let's just say there's a right way, and there's a lot of wrong ways to do that. This table underneath here, Jeannie tells me that this was built back in the 1800s. I haven't personally inspected it myself, but I wouldn't doubt it because it does feel very old, very handcrafty, and none of the boards line up perfectly. That's one of the hallmarks of something that was built by hand. And of course the 2 leaves or 3 leaves, however many, they fit here in the middle and you can pull the thing apart. Well, we inherited quite a collection of different chairs. So those 2 over there are the same chair, believe it or not, even though the embroidery is different. That one there was reupholstered at some point, and it doesn't match the rest, but we have 2 more over here, the one that I'm sitting on, and that's it. We only have 5 of those. Number 6, it has vanished somewhere along the way of life. And then all these other ones here, they're all different. But right over there, that is a Victorian pump organ stool right there. It could also be used as a piano stool. And this thing here is really interesting. This is a coal hopper. It has a kind of an insignia of a dog, like a hunting dog. It looks like it's down in the swamp, and that looks like a pheasant. So that's probably some kind of a retriever dog. But this is really cool because you can pick it up with one hand and carry it, but you can open it up and your coal is in there. So you can go to the coal bin down in the basement, if you had a basement, which we don't. You can grab it, fill it full of coal, bring it upstairs, and then put it by your fireplace. And then every time you need more coal, simply scoop it out and toss it in. And then we have these two completely mismatched chairs that are decked out in the identical fabric. So that's kind of fun. So how do we know these chairs are legitimate antiques? Let me show you. This has started to come apart, but look what we have here. We have straw, canvas, some kind of a linen, it looks like. And modern chairs aren't made like that because they're made with foam. Well, this is kind of fun. Singer has made sewing machines for a long, long time. Now, they made these things by the millions and millions, and so they're everywhere. They're not rare, and they can be found fairly easily. But let's take a look at this one. The lid just comes off like that. Now, this one here is not electric motor powered, and it's not even pedal powered like some of the other ones. You would pump it like that to turn it. This one here is completely hand powered. I believe that you have, oh, here it is. You have to turn this crank right here to make it go. So it's in pretty decent shape. There's a little bit of corrosion and rust here, but all the paint is intact and it's looking good. I think there may be a few parts missing. Well, this looks like an ordinary Victorian chair, but it has a really neat feature. It's extra wide. When have you seen one of those? This is another marble top table, and it's very nicely done. One of the neat things about this old furniture is that any moisture that was in the wood has long since evaporated. So this old wooden furniture is super dry and very lightweight compared to modern furniture. Even if one was to replicate it with modern wood, it would still be heavy because of the moisture that's in the wood. Hasn't had decades for it to evaporate. Anyhow, back to the clocks here. These look like they were definitely from the Victorian era or somewhere around the Gilded Age. Look at the exquisite carvings here. And they do work. The pendulums do swing. Whether they keep good time or not, we don't know. Probably the biggest surprise of everything that we were able to get from this collection was this old Victorian mantelpiece. I mean, this is absolutely a treasure right here. I don't know where it came from or what the story was behind it, but this is in beautiful condition. It's very, very old, and it would absolutely fit in this house. Whether we use it or not is another matter, because we still have our original mantelpieces, and you could say that historical accuracy probably trumps coolness in some cases. But there may be a place somewhere else where they need a historical mantelpiece where this would fit the bill very nicely. This is a cast iron fireplace surround. We don't know if it was originally part of this mantel. It came as a set. We just don't know anything about it. But the tabs here are very similar to ours. In fact, the motif here is very similar to ours, which makes us think this may have come from a coal burner. Several episodes back, we decided to build some easels because Jeannie wanted to have some art easels. She actually sat down, drew up the designs on paper, and gave me material lists and everything. I told her I needed an absolutely perfect cut list and assembly manual, everything like that, because I just, that's the way I roll. And she did. So we built these things. They're working great. And we actually took them with us on our camping trip recently and had a great time sitting out there in the woods painting our new paint by number sets. So why are we doing this? Well, it's a good way to pass the time in the summer when it's too hot, or in the dead of winter when it's too cold. And we can just have a kind of a creative outlet. For me, being in college and under high stress, sometimes I'll just walk away from the computer for a while, come over here and just sit down and start laying on some paint. So these things are almost done. This is the one that I'm working on. It's some kind of a Italian scene there, some kind of place where we all wish that we could visit. And it's coming along nicely. This part down here still needs to be done. And Jeannie is working on this one here. This looks like an English cottage scene of some sort. And she's doing a great job getting the water done, and the rock work here is really coming to life. So that's our creative outlet. When we can't do anything else, we'll come in here and paint. We're sorry that this is such a short video, but there really isn't much going on. We did want to share a couple things with you, but we have a lot of projects that we want to do. We just need it to cool down. It is so hot here. It's just unbelievable.
Oh yeah.
Hot and humid. But that's the Deep South, and that's where we are right now.
This is our season to not do much. A lot of areas, it's the winter time. For us, it's the summertime.
Right.
So you take the good with the bad. Everywhere has a place. This is ours.
Yep. Now, the good side to all of this is that the spring and the fall are incredible. They're long, beautiful, and really nice weather for the most part.
Usually.
We'll
see what this year brings.
Other than the dead of winter and the heat of summer, which we're in right now, we can really get out and work pretty much any time.
Yes. That was a lot of fun. Thank you again, Justin, for all of the furniture. It was such a blessing and so wonderful. We are thoroughly enjoying it very much. Thank you for watching 1834 Restoration House. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.